Okay, welcome. While I've got a few Sony radios here before I sell one of them, I thought I'll have a look at them. And I want to look at the difference between the different Sony DAB radios. So the first one I want to look at is the S40 DBP. I think it came out in 2011. Not 100% sure about it. It has a 66mm diameter speaker and 0.3 watt for the speaker. And officially with normal batteries it's supposed to run 30 hours on DAB and 10 hours on FM. I was quite surprised when I saw those numbers first, because I thought running on DAB would use more power. But then it reminded me of the Eaton E5 Grundig G5. No, actually, the G3 and the E3, not the 5. And they got that chip for sideband and sync lock and so on. And they use that chip actually to decode the RDS signal. So I thought maybe they do some other funny trick here, that the way they create the FM signal is not done the normal way. That's why listening on FM needs more power than listening on DAB. The sound is not great, and I'll turn the radio and I play a bit, not too long, in case I violate any copyright with the music. I'll have it on radio too.
Just follow this simple recipe. Trust me.
So let's compare it to the latest offering, the S41D. So this is the 40, this is the 41.
It's gonna be fabulous. Yeah. One drop off, one drop.
I mean,
Season it with
the 41 could also sound a bit better,
that is. Cook for 2 hours.
but it certainly sounds much better than the 40. Other differences here, the display. Here we've got, it's not a 7-segment display, I don't know how many segments there are. Whereas on the S41, we got some sort of dot matrix display, or whatever you would call it, with lots of pixels. So it's much easier to read the text. But there are lots of little typical Sony issues that make it more difficult to read any text than it should be. And that's one of my biggest complaints with Sony. They always have those kind of quirks that would be so easy to fix, and that then kind of make the whole experience a bit worse than it should be. For example, the S40. If I scroll through the DAB stations in the mode where they are just sorted the way they are found, if I want to go down, let's say from radio 2 to radio 3 to radio 4, I press down. Down will increase the number. Great. If I'm on preset mode, where I stored my stations, then down will go down a number and up will go up a number. So whether you're in preset mode or in normal mode, the up-down buttons work the other way around, which is quite confusing. So since we're talking about those kind of Sony quirks, some sort of quirk we got with those radios is when the text is scrolling, the people who programmed it, they programmed it so that if there's a character left, let's get the signal a bit better, it will move a bit further. But the moment the last character is displayed, immediately it starts from the beginning, or it moves away. So you always have problems reading the end of a text. That would be so easy, to let the whole display wait a bit at the end, or to display the message a bit longer. Also, why do I have to look at the time all the time? Yeah, it would be so nice if we could switch the time, the clock, off in the display and have more lines for our text. Saying that, they do improve all the time. This is the P1 DBP, and for example the D1 BBP, we've got an auto tune. The auto tune only works on DAB, not on FM. Even though, other radios, let's say my car radio from 15 years ago, they could already sort FM stations by name automatically. This one can't do it, but it should be very easy to program. So this one they figured out, it's quite easy to do. So on the S41D you can actually do auto tune on FM. It will search for all the stations, and then in the end it will ask you, do you want to wait a bit longer, and then I'll also try to get the RDS names for you. But again, if you don't press any button, because maybe you're not near the radio, it will not look for the RDS names. If you're not near the radio, you don't mind waiting a bit longer, so it could have just looked for those names. So they look great, they usually work quite well, but the software could always be improved very easily to make them even better. But saying that, I bought them because they look good. They don't sound as good as a Grundig or as the new Eaton type radios. Yeah. Okay. But the design is quite good. If you want more functionality, there are also other brands out there like Technisat. They have much more functionality. But Sony, in my opinion, they look quite nice. But again, everybody has a different taste. So we've got this one, 0.3 watt speaker. We've got this one, the P1 DBP, 1.5 watt, but only 45 millimeters. And it sounds much better than the S40, even though the S40 has a much bigger speaker. I'll try to give you a quick comparison. Yeah, not too long, not that I violate any copyrights. Also not sure whether the microphones will pick up the difference. But this one sounds much better. And this one, sounds also similar. Those two sound quite similar, but this one sounds a little bit better. This one has a built-in lithium-ion battery. 15 hours on battery with the speakers, 20 hours on headphones. And here, according to the official GAITA test, which is some, I think, Japanese standardized test, with the same batteries, this one will actually run nearly twice as long as that one. 25 hours on DAB, 27 hours on FM. So this one, as expected, for radio, FM needs less power than DAB. This is a 77 millimeter diameter speaker, 0.65 watt. So I thought I'll get another Sony radio out that also has a 77 millimeter diameter speaker, which is the M350S from probably early 90s, probably 93.
Toad in the hole, ever. BBC Radio 2, online, on digital radio, and...
how do they compare? Let's switch to FM, otherwise it's not a fair comparison.
Every department, free delivery on millions.
Well, it didn't pick up. Okay, let's leave it on DAB.
Zimbabwe. Thousands of cheering supporters gathered to watch the ceremony. Was too tired to attend. Joe Mbega met his...
They sound quite similar. This one seems to have a little bit more bass. Because we got a crazy comparison here anyway. I'll throw another one in. The J40, which came out in the 80s. I bought this one in 2007 when I was changing planes at an airport in the Middle East. Looks quite nice, looks quite old-fashioned. Not as nice as a Grundig again, and certainly doesn't sound as good. If you have it next to a Grundig, it sounds very poor. But it wasn't expensive.
The Supreme Court of Appeal.
So, not bad. Signal-wise, signal reception, this one is the worst. It's quite difficult to pick up good signals. If we compare the DAB signal on those two, let's make the reception a bit worse by putting the aerial in. Then the S40 will usually display you better values for signal quality, but actually if you have a station that's quite weak, so the S41 shows you lower numbers, but if I tune into a weak station, let's say Merseyside, because that's quite far away from where I am. Then we got a similar situation in terms of when we receive the signals. So they are very similar in terms of getting a signal in. When I go to another room, I can pick up a signal. So in this case, the S40 doesn't pick up a signal. The S41 picks up a signal, but not very clear. But if I go to another room, it might be the other way around. So in terms of sensitivity, those two are quite similar. Yeah, so this one lasts much longer, nicer display, but they all have software quirks. This one doesn't sound very good. Those two sound very good. I mean, it's really amazing how good the small one sounds. I mean, they're just talking now, so not much to see here. But sensitivity is poor. But it's a great radio for carrying around. There's a little flap here to prevent it from falling over. So overall, quite nice. There's another thing I could compare. I probably have to set up the microphone in a different way. And I think, I haven't looked more into it, I think if you have them on a quiet setting, let's say at night, next to your bed, I think the S41 has more background noise coming from the speaker than the S40. But overall, the S41 certainly much better sound, longer battery life. But no wonder, this one's probably from 2011. This one's from 2017, I think. Okay. Thank you for watching. Bye.